Hey guys, Spirit of the Law here. A big patch came out for Definitive Edition on December 17th, addressing a ton of things, from the AI and user interface to matchmaking and civilization balance. In this particular video, I want to talk about the 4 new civilizations and the huge nerfs they collectively received just in time for Christmas. Now, everybody knew this was coming. The plan seemed to be to release the new civilizations in a bit of an overpowered state to get people excited to play them, and then weaken them from there. Consider us now in phase 2 of that process. Starting things off is the Bulgarians, who had a few small changes to their Krapos. Really nothing to see there unless you like to try to convert them. Their unique unit, the Conic, took a bit of a hit though, with reduced HP for the mounted version before and after Elite. While the attack appears to be the same, the actual rate they attack at was reduced. Now, as with any unit, the first attack always happens right away as soon as they're in range, but the reload or recharge time for the subsequent attacks was raised from 1.9 to 2.4 seconds. Taking an extra half second to attack each time means about a 20% reduction in their overall damage output. The dismounted version also had its reload time changed from 2 to 2.4 seconds, which again is hard to notice, but just means they'll be attacking slower. On the flip side, the Bulgarian unique tech that gave +3 melee armor to the militia line now gives +5 armor, so actually a bit of a buff there. Notice that synergizes well with the fact they get the militia line upgrades for free, though of course they still don't have access to champions. Next, the biggest civilization nerf was to the Cumans. If the idea was to make the new civilizations particularly strong so that everybody would love to play them, in this case, I think that might have backfired a bit. Some people flat out refuse to even play in games with the Cumans present, which says a lot about how unbalanced either the civilization is, or at least how it's perceived. It was obvious a big nerf was incoming, and it definitely happened. First of all, their additional town center they can make in Feudal Age now takes much longer to construct. It was changed from 225 to 270 seconds of build time, which is almost double a normal town center. I always thought it was a really creative idea for a bonus, but just very difficult to balance. That being said, the big issue with the Cumans was that they could not only have probably the best economy in the mid-game, but also had a lot of great units available, which have also received nerfs. The unique unit, for example, had its reload time increase from 1.8 to 2.2 seconds. Again, that results in about an 18% drop in their attack output. Their HP was also reduced by 5, and the Elite Kipchak now fires 3 instead of 4 arrows. They still attack near instantly when you tell them to, and remain a fast unit that can fire multiple arrows, so I wouldn't say these nerfs remove their usefulness. But speaking of how fast they are, the Cumans plus 10% cavalry speed bonus has now been staggered to 5% in Feudal, 10 in Castle, and 15 in Imperial, while their access to husbandry was removed. Overall, that's around a 5% nerf to their cavalry speed throughout the game, though it does mean you save on the cost of husbandry and having to remember to pick it up. And finally, their Feudal Age battering rams no longer deal area of effect damage to units. I think that's fair enough, and it's always a little weird to see battering rams attacking units directly. Now overall, I think we can all agree that's a lot of nerfs, but probably the biggest nerf was to the Steppe Lancer. The Steppe Lancer, of course, is a unit only available to the Cumans and Tatars, and the public perception at least was that they were a major contributor to the Cumans being so overpowered. The nerfs impact basically every aspect of them, with 2 less attack, a 50% higher gold cost, a 20% reduction in attack rate, decreased speed on top of Cumans already having slower cavalry overall, and arguably most importantly, their collision box was increased so they can't stack as well when fighting. Hopefully this isn't just a swing from one extreme to the other, though I think most people could agree that the Cumans did need to be nerfed quite a bit. The next new civilization getting weakened is nowhere near to the same extreme, and it's the Lithuanians. Their bonus of having relics give +1 attack to all cavalry to a maximum of 5 was reduced to 4, and no longer includes the light cavalry and hussar line. Basically now it's just their unique unit and knight line being affected by it. Again, it's a really creative idea of having relics impact unit stats, and if they felt the late game hussar spam was too strong, then it's probably for the best. Considering they already have excellent halberdiers and skirmishers, they probably don't need any more help in late game trash battles anyway. The last of the new civilizations is the Tatars, who had their unique unit overhauled. Their gold cost was reduced from 80 to 40, which definitely makes their gold generation bonus seem more significant. The 5 to 10 gold it can easily generate in combat now feels like a more reasonable proportion of their cost being refunded. Their HP was also increased by 10, while their attack was reduced by 3, essentially lengthening fights, which should also be a positive thing again for their gold generation. I'm a little surprised the gold rate itself wasn't adjusted or changed to something more straightforward, like 1 gold per attack. But the devs were probably looking at more than just the gold generation rate here. Now, in addition to all of the new civilizations getting reworked, there were also some old civilizations that got a few tweaks. For example, Khmer Ballista Elephants now get the cavalry armor upgrades, Mayan Plumed Archers are a bit more expensive to create, and the Saracen Archer attack versus buildings is now staggered, with +1 for every age. Personally, I'm a little surprised some of the weaker civilizations like Vietnamese didn't get a buff. It seems like something players would generally be in favor of. But those are the civilization changes in the latest patch. These were just a small part of a giant patch for all sorts of bugs since release, and it's great to see they're working hard to keep the community happy. If you're interested in seeing the full patch notes, I'll link it in the description. But that's all for this one. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.